Hello. I wanted to talk to you today about your triggers. Your triggers are destroying your relationships, and most of you don't even know your triggers are happening. What happens with triggers is we're going along in life, we have a commitment to something, we have a way that we're operating, we have a place that we be in, a state that we're in, and all of a sudden something gets said to us by another person, often a person that's close to us. The closer the person, the stronger the trigger, and all of a sudden this takes us out, it takes us away from what we're doing, and we react in an abnormal way for who we are as adults. And the reason this happens is because our childhood brain, our emotional brain, is confusing the event that's happening now with the person that it's happening with a problem that we perceived we had as children up to the age of 7. So a problem where we might have not got that. It's either going to be love, approval, validation, or acceptance from your parents. So as a child, you may feel that you're complete, and as an adult, you may feel that you're complete with your parents. But the truth is if you're having triggers with other adults now, that is an indication that your childhood wounds are being reactivated and triggered, and you're not coping. You see, if you think about it, it makes no sense as an adult for you to need the approval, the acceptance, the love, or the appreciation or validation from another adult. It's nice when we get it and it's very satisfying, but it makes no sense for us to get reactivated when we don't. And I see this all the time when I'm dealing with people. In mentoring circles, I see it when I'm coaching people and their ego gets reactivated, their childhood wound gets triggered, and all of a sudden their course of action that they were on, their commitment gets interrupted. And they end up saying they don't want to do what they're doing anymore. And it's not because they don't want to do it, it's because they got triggered, their emotional brain confused something that I said with some wound that they have as children. And so what there is for you guys, for us all to consider in relationship, is that if we can stay an adult, we can continue to behave in an adult-like manner. We don't have to become a reaction to what other people say. No other person can give you a feeling of love. That feeling of love comes from within you. And if you're not experiencing that feeling of love, it's because you haven't dealt with the issues you need to from a childhood point of view. So if Gail says something to me that hurts me, something that triggers me, what it's doing is it's triggering a childhood wound. It has nothing to do with what's going on in the moment. Because if I can stay an adult, I can know that I'm enough and I love me enough. And I don't need her to love me in that moment, even if she does or doesn't. It's about understanding that love comes from within for you. And that's the reason that you struggle with it, is because your childhood emotional brain is not content or made peace with the fact that the love that it received as a child was the right love to receive. And we're making something about our childhood wrong. So what we need to do is we need to actually look inside, and when we feel the triggeration happen, when we feel that go on in our body, you know that sense I'm talking about, you know what it's like. Somebody says something to you that you care about, that you love, that you like, or somebody says something that like feels like it's against the very nature of who you are, about being right. When that happens and you have that feeling in your body, it's so important to just stop and notice the feeling and go, hang on a second, this is a childhood wound. This is something I haven't accepted about my childhood, my parents, or myself. And then if you go about healing that, you don't have to get upset with other people. You're an adult. It makes no logical sense to need approval, love, acceptance, or validation from any other adult. Gail is not always going to love me. Well, she does love me, but she's not always going to appear as loving to me. She's not always going to perhaps appear like she accepts me. She's not always going to validate what I say. She has different opinions. God, opinions of her own. Can you believe that? How rude of her. But the whole point is to start to notice, stay an adult. Heal yourself from within, and then you won't need anything from outside. You won't need other people to treat you in a particular way. Doesn't mean you don't enjoy it when they do. I love it when people treat me in a certain way. But what I'm saying is the power comes from being able to avoid the triggeration that happens in general conversations when people that you perhaps work with, people you love, like your parents, your family. I see it in families all the time, where they trigger other people and then all of a sudden they're like, they're at you because you triggered them. And it's not even anything to do with you, it's to do with their childhood wound. So go ahead, work on healing yourself internally, see if you can do that. Questions, post them up, let me know, videos will keep coming and I can work on whatever you put up for me. All right guys, have a fantastic day. I'll see you soon. Bye.